Hi there folks, just checking in for Carp Mania UK. Basically, we got here this morning, about 11 o'clock. It's quite a prolific water, it's got a big amount of decent sized fish. But as any big day ticket water, it's been a little bit tricky. Just fishing the same as any other day ticket would. The pressure's quite high. Over summer it's been hammered. But we're trickling the bait in. We've got a good baiting approach, which I'm going to go over with you. I'll also show you what we've been using, what we've been doing. Quite hopeful for tonight now. It's about 5-6 o'clock. So yeah, we've got a good bunch of people down here. It's a good session. The fish have been moving around quite a lot, as they would this time of year. So, you know, without further ado, I'll bring you through the baiting approach and we'll go from there. Basically, we're going to load up now. Time to bait up for the evening before nightfall. So this is what we do. If you look down here, you'll see the bait boat. We got a bit of our mix. Never overload your bait boat. You don't need to. You know, you can always send it out again. Just to get that baseline there, yeah? Okay. Then I don't know what make and model yours is, but mine's quite simple. You duck this in the corner here, duck this in the corner there, have a little extra top up on there, just like that. And if you just zoom in, you'll see the bait boat making its journey. As I say, we're going out to centre. Put that eye in there. So if you zoom in fully there, you'll see just about where we're heading to. There's a nice island there. So basically, we're just off to the left of that on a patrol route. We put a couple of bits of bait here and there over today. We've trickled it in. We've not just turned up, put a load of bait in, and I've basically been baiting where I've actually seen fish, because you know there's no point putting bait in where there's no fish, is there? It's not getting eaten, right? A lot of you know this, so we don't have to go over the basics, but there we go. So what you find here on my left hand rod is a pretty simple rig. Just get that up. Right. So what you'll see here is a handmade stiff hinge via the Camotech Dulux 35-pound covered braid. Then I just use a simple rig tubing. I don't like to use lead core unless I need to. Depends how rough the bottom is where you're fishing. Down to that where we're fishing here, you have to use a running safety clip so that they like the leads to eject. So we've got that on there, all the safety. So it runs down. We've got a 4.5 inch boom section, you could say, on our stiff semi-coated braid. and then comes down to our blobber putty right here. Some call this a German rig, some call it a stiff hinge rig. To me, it's a version of a stiff hinge rig. It's a version of a stiff hinge rig from someone that I look up to quite a lot, Terry Earn. Yeah, a lot of waters where I go, they call me the young Terry Earn, but we won't go there right now. So, and on the end of here, we've got an ultra buoyant Nash Candy Nut Crush pop up, and we tipped it with a little tiny piece of yellow scope eggs. So I just find that little bright edge. Sometimes, you know, they just turn their head and they see it, bang, and it's very buoyant, so that literally they've only got to suck past it a tiny bit, and that's straight in the chops. Yeah. The way I tie it, I sell rigs, you see, but the way I tie it, literally, if you, a lot of my blogs, what you'll see, the hook holds are directly in the left, normally the left corner of the mouth, sometimes the bottom. It will depend how they suck it in, you know, to where they get it. But yeah, ultra sharp hooks. I use some of the ESP Cryogen series. I also find that, you know, Fox are renowned for hooks, and I've always used them. They stay very sharp. They're sharp out of the box, you know what I mean. But obviously, always checking your hooks, because we know hook sharpness is paramount. You could have 100 bites and have a blunted hook, and you won't catch anything. To the left of the island that I'm going to show you, about 5 or 6 yards just past, just basically because we've seen them cruising and turning around in the back section of the island where I can't fish, you see. So I'm fishing off to the side of that, and to counteract their patrol route. On the right hand rod, which basically is straight down the line of the centre of the island, that's about 4 or 5 yards off the island, because again, it's a cruise zone. But if you go too close to this island, like a lot of others, it has a plateau where it goes higher, and it lessens in depth. We don't want that going over through to the night time. The general temperatures are usually just up from the bottom a lot of the time, till the morning when the sun starts coming out, and obviously they chase the sun. You know, all day you'll see them, they'll chase the sun, they'll go round the lake where the sun goes. Obviously, we all know that big wind can play a big factor, high and low pressures in wind, the fact of whether you're fishing a day ticket, whether you're fishing a syndicate, all these things come into play. How many people are fishing at the time, what baits you're using. How, to me, it's mainly not just what bait you're using. If you're using a decent reputable bait, then you've got to ask yourself, you know, it's all about the presentation. Like, I can remember so many times where I've been fishing and it's been really hard on a really hard lake where there's very little low stock, massive water, and we've been fishing, we're all fishing hard, and a friend of mine, I've asked him, how you doing? He said, I've had 3-4 bites. I said, did you land any of them? He said, nah, not this time. This was back in the day. He said, no, not this time. I got hot hook pull, you know, some got away, one got off at the rod tip. I said, so I asked him, and then again said to him again, check your hooks, check how sharp they are, so that they're not doing you on the bottom. Check how your bait is presented. Bait presentation is such a big important part of fishing. I can't tell you that enough, stress that enough. Yeah, I'm not going to make any excuses. We've had one, various people haven't had any. It's been tough going, but I'm pretty hyped hoping for tonight. Where it's warmed up, sometimes that makes for prolific evenings and night times. So all we can do is hope. Got to stay full of optimism. That's the one. Always forward thinking. You can't do it from the sofa. because it's getting later in the evening, we're going to drop the levels, and you know, with the temperature, as the temperature drops, we drop in depth, you see. There's a big tip for you. Yeah, they say you don't watch Carp Mania for nothing. Now you join me for a quick walk around the premises. Have a quick look, see what the lake and the fish are doing. Have a little venture. I'm just going to walk down to the next swim, across to the left. Lovely swim. Nicely cut out. So that comes along from the spit, what we call a spit, to this open channel here. So we're going to go have a look at the next swim where we're going to be next time. Right. And they do get in here quite a bit. It's lovely down here. Just pan you round so you can have a little look. Very good swim. This can be prolific sometimes, autumn time. They creep in, it's a nice deep gully, and tree line's a lovely cover. Oh, I love these old huts. Turn you around, you've got the wall of fame. Can't disclose the actual lake. Lovely. Right, so we carry on our little adventure around the old lake. So we're on a little walk. Cameraman Steve looking after the rods. Your brother. Good lad. Right. Alright lads, any joy? Good luck mate. Any luck bud?
Yeah, I had some swans and some coots.
Oh bless you mate.
Oh, crazy mate. I've been in the low end of them around.
Yeah, them swans have been crazy at the minute man. But
They've got a family of them, haven't they?
yeah. They were like picking up my stiff injury last night man. So
Crazy, isn't it?
hello you.
Hello Lily. You in the old Cindy?
Yeah, what's that?
You on a syndicate?
No, I'm just over there on the other side.
Oh nice.
Yeah, but I had hello darling. You like my catapult, didn't you? Yeah, I had an 8-9 pound common, which was just like I had loads of like bream bream bites and that, pebble dashing me swim, and then I had a little one, and that had all lead core wrapped round it and a rig and that. So, went under me other rod. It was like, carnage, mate. Good luck, lads. Yeah.
26 for that. Nice.
Fucking nice.
Yeah, lovely boy. Yeah.
Well done.
I could see that was pretty good lump.
26, bang on.
Lovely, mate.
Nice common.
What's my hair looking like for the pics?
Yeah, mate. You're all good, Dad.
Get your hat in your side. They're fucking Men in Black photo.
Yeah, mate.
Look the part.
That's not often you're on the custom page, is it? So
Yeah.
when you're on there, you got to look.
Yeah.
It's only every now and then, isn't it?
The sun gone.
I'll have one with a hat on, one with off.
Yeah, mate. Yeah.
Over there, because that sun's gonna be. What's it looking like?
Yeah, we'll see what the sun looks like.
Lovely fish, man.
Well,
Get
beautiful.
my on, get in a water shot.
could do.
You do, couldn't you?
No pants. Didn't wear my way.
Get in the pants.
It's beautiful, mate.
Tell him how to hold it, Jackie boy.
Nice long
All the catfish.
fish.
Yeah, no, it's just make fun of that. Nothing wrong with that, is there?
Nah.
Let me put the water on it. Yeah, that's why not. Hold her up, wants to pour some water over your head.
Nearly. Okay,
Nearly, mate.
Not far off you.
Lovely, mate. Look at that. Quite clean as well. It's not really got no,
Lovely, nice
not many leeches or nothing. Quite clean.
You like a video, don't you?
Yeah, I like them and all.
You got it out quite nicely as well. It's
Yeah,
not.
came in quite well, swam
Yeah.
towards me quite nicely.
Yeah.
No, he's talking over video.
You know what them commons are like though? They can be wild, can't they? Sometimes, man.
Get one of that sort as well, Jack.
You ain't got one that size yet.
Huh?
Did he behave under the rod tip?
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Right, wasn't it?
They get a bit lazy in the sun, the big fish, don't they?
Yeah. Come on, baby.
They can't
Other
go
side,
and
other
finger the
side.
glass.
Sure.
I don't even think you got a picture of the other side
Look
yet.
at that, mate. That's lovely. Juicy.
I've heard funny stories, what people have told me when they were young and stuff, and someone's told me they've used a jelly baby. They put a jelly baby on a hook and they've caught a massive carp. Well, you know, we can all do that, but I don't advise it. You know, most lakes won't allow it. Don't use sweets. Matthew Allen, checking in for Carp Mania. I arrived here earlier today. She's about £20, 19, £20, and she's absolutely beautiful. So without further ado, I'll give you a show. Come on, lovely. Come on, lovely. Let's get you out. She's absolutely beautiful. Look at that, eh? Lovely. Quite a long mirror actually. Beautiful fish. So a quick pick, and then we'll pop you back, my lovely. Join me down at a local gravel pit. It's fairly mature. There's a fish stock in here of about 200 plus fish in 2.5 acres. I've chosen this water for just a couple of winter vlogs that I've been doing, just because of the stock and the time of year. We're about a week till Christmas. Come on! So I plan to have a good one. I've got my daughter for this Christmas, so it's going to be very enjoyable. So yeah, you joined me down here. We got down here yesterday afternoon. Excuse me, I didn't get any footage. It was more just to set the plans in motion. Took a little while just getting the kit ready and stuff. So I decided to wait off and hold off on the vlog till today. Yeah, well, it was quite an eventful night to say the least. Because even though it got quite cold in the night, yeah, there was definitely some movement in the lake. I was reading it. I've got a spot that I fish quite often that's prime. I'll show you guys shortly in a little bit the exact swim where I'm fishing. On my left hand rod, basically that's the one that I've decided I always have one rod at winter that I can move around and put wherever I want with just a PVA bag of crammed up boilie and what have you, a couple of bits and pieces, just so they're not too fed up, and you're just fishing for a bite. Fishing for a bite proactively is one of the main important things you can do. It isn't just winter that you need to hold off and be slower with your feeding. It's also other times in the year where there's either a lot of anglers on or a lot of bait going in, or maybe, you know, they're not feeling like playing ball, and you've realised that. So then you don't want to top up the water too much, A, for the water quality and the fish, and B, because, you know, you're killing it for yourself and everyone else. But yeah, I love it, to be honest. I mean, fishing is a hobby, and it has been since I was about, well, I started when I was 5 years old, but of course it wasn't my hobby then. I'd say as I learned and I got about 8, 9 years old, I took it more seriously. And where I grew up, and I was fishing the canals there, the Grand Union, yeah, where I was fishing there for years since I was 5 years old, I'd pretty much mastered a few of the techniques for sprat bashing, roach fishing and bream fishing and stuff. Caught a lot of big binlids. There was a few carp in the canal at that time. They were few and far between. And then sadly what happened was there's a lot of, I wouldn't like to say one exact type of people, but yeah, certain types of people started going to the canals there and eating significant amounts of fish plus big breeding fish, which that can sometimes cause a water quite a big problem. And then literally by the time I was about 12 years old, that was decimated. It was very hard to catch, and when you did, you caught a tiny roach or a tiny skimmer. So yeah, I mean, it's all about, I mean, what I'm really about is I fish a lot of different places all over Norfolk, Suffolk, up and down the country. I get out of the country once in a while. Obviously I haven't been out of the country since lockdown, first lockdown. I've decided to hold off for now. I've got a lot of things I've been doing in my life. Me and my brother, we've got a holiday home down in Lincolnshire. There's a couple of lakes there, that's really nice, so we've been working on that. Also got a boat, a lovely yacht down on the river, which I bring the family out on, and the daughter and stuff. Yeah, so that's great. I've been doing some stuff down there. These are all part and parcel to the fishing blogs that I do now. I will be releasing boat life and amongst other activities and work that I've been doing to boats and caravans and different things, so that you guys can get a feel for what I've been doing and how it is to own and do these things yourself. Yeah, so last night we set up about in late afternoon. It was a little bit blistery. I'd sat at home and made me bait mix the night before, which is called Matt's Insta Mix. I call it Matt's Insta Mix because the way I make it and some of the stuff I put in there, literally, it seems to get them on the munch a lot quicker than all throughout the year. Pretty much, it seems to get them on the feed a lot quicker than general particle baits and stuff that I use in the past and stuff like that. It does consist of mainly boilie crumb, of maybe 2 types of boilies at once, or either the same but different sizes, because there'll be a couple of whole boilies in there as well. I always add a bit of particle to it during the winter, usually corn or maize, or a bit of hemp. Hemp is prolific. Not as many people use hemp anymore, but that has always been a leading bait in my eyes. Yeah, and what can I say? We set up, I saw the fish moving around, so my right hand rod was, I set a trap for. I know exactly where they come in and out of there. I fished here many times over, probably about, I don't like to say, last 12 years. Yeah, so I fished here on and off for 12 years. There's 3 lakes here. There's a carp lake as you come in here. That's got them in there to about £36 I think now. The biggest resident being Moley. I haven't had Moley, but I have had the second biggest carp in there, which is a mirror. which is, I think it's about 33 now. And I've had a couple of the other 30s, and some of the 30s which are 30s now I've had when they were 27s, 28s and stuff like that. So I've done a lot of work on that lake, but sometimes it can be stone hard, stone cold. So I decided to, where I'm doing a bit of a shoot, I decided to you know, come down to a lake where to show you guys what to do really in a winter scenario, whereby, you know, it has been cold, the fish don't like to feed as much, so you've got to think about location where you're going to, what's the stocks of fish like there. In this lake, as I said, there's over 200 fish, there's a lot of double figures. I reckon there's at least 8 or 9 20s. I wouldn't like to be specific, but there's a couple of 20s that probably not far off £30. As I say, it's been here a little while, but yeah, I'm really enjoying the session. You know, the reason I say it's a hobby is I come for myself just as much as I come for everyone else or you guys, or, you know, as much as I come to bring my daughter or anything. It's definitely a core thing for me, because we're all ill of health sometimes. I do have some mental health. I'm quite sure that a lot of people all around the world do. Yeah, some worse than others. I happen to have it quite bad. I've been through some hard times, but I like to think that fishing, amongst other things like family and good experiences, they bring you to a place where you can recover and you can be positive in life. And you know what I like to think, no matter what drawbacks you have in life, it's important to always focus on what makes you happy, because you've only got one chance to live here on this place, haven't we? Right, that's enough waffling on. So yeah, my left hand rod, whereas there was a few fish moving out in front, they were probably about 25-30 yards off, about, yeah, I would say probably about 4 or 5 wraps out just to the left, in front of us, which I will show you. And there's been a few moving in between today as well. So that was it. I didn't waste any time. I loaded up my casting rod. Ducks messing about in the background. Everything's messing about in the background. No, I loaded my. Didn't wait any time. Put a PVA bag straight on. Crumbed up. Dipped it in me Tiger Nut tooty glug, which I've made, and then dropped it straight out just in front of them. It didn't go initially straight away. They had liners throughout the night. I knew that was a good sign. That's always a good sign. And literally, I was just retiring to go to sleep after having my second beer and final beer of the night. And literally it just ripped off, screaming across the middle of the pool. And we had a 19-pound mirror. Beautiful fish, yeah. Had some, even though it was quite a light fish, it had some of its darker winter colours as well. Yeah, so very nice. I do have a caption of that fish. I do also have a couple of stills from it in the cradle, so I will put them up within this video. I will also be, yeah, going through a lot of the different things I've been doing and stuff with boats and different bits and bobs here and there. Yeah, so Matthew Allen, checking in for Carp Mania. I'm just going to give you a quick look now around the swim and where we're fishing to, and obviously I've explained my tactics on the left hand rod. I have a Ronnie stiff hinge rig on the left hand rod with a 14mm pineapple and banana popper, dipped in glug, of course, always dip your baits in winter. On the right hand rod we have it just in front of a lily pad where you've got a bit of a drop in depth, which obviously in the winter times I always find they do get across there. They hold up. There's always under there. There's always some sort of roots and snags and stuff like that as well. So I just fish to it, or just on the corner of the overhang. I'll show you that in the swim in a moment. Yeah, I'm loving it. It's wicked. You know what they say, Matthew Allen, you can't do it from the sofa because it's Carp Mania and we're here to stay. There's a slight bit of contrast, but yeah, I'll pan you out around here, just close to where, just there is where we've been fishing with the left hand rod. So it's pretty much in front of us, but it's slightly off to the left. As I've told you, the wraps as well, for about 4.5 wraps across there. So I'm just going to get a slightly better angle on the camera. Right, bringing it to focus. So that, just across next to that swim there is this overhang tree here, and just there, about a metre off the lily pads, is where we're fishing with the right hand rod, just because that's exactly where the depth comes down and they congregate. I found that you'll see that with a lot of my other blogs in the past when I've been here. I've had quite a lot of good results there. I'm also going to show you the Instamix, which is in here. We have a lovely mix of all types of goodness. So as I say, we've got a crumbed up mix, 2 different crumbed up boilies. This time I've used corn. As I say, I always use corn or maize in the winter. There's a couple of other bits and pieces in there, maybe some chopped up mealworm or something like that, a little bit of rock salt or sea salt, something like that. But yeah, a couple of little tricks of the trade, and I'll tell you something, that will work for you any time of the year. Oh, it's a beautiful fish. Where are you, Rick? I'd say she reminds me of a starburst mirror, I'd say. It's more like one of them old school starburst mirrors. Look at that for a fish, eh? Absolute beauty. Daddy's very happy anyway. Hey Daddy, a very happy man. Make sure all your pecs are level. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, remember when you're picking up a fish, make sure all the fins are directly down their body or you can injure them. Always lift your waistline by each corner. So you've got a direct lift. absolutely buzzing. We're just checking back in from our 48-hour session. Currently about an hour and a half till we leave. It's been a great session though, it's been very enjoyable. Just getting some time on the bank again. So I've been, as I say, I've been explaining, I've been really busy at the moment with my new ventures. But yeah, it's a beautiful place, there's some lovely fish in here. First night we had the 19-pound mirror, which is not bad going for the winter. As I've always explained before, I don't always catch as much in the winter, but I do sometimes target some of the bigger fish. I'm not quite sure why towards autumn and going through to winter the bigger ones seem to come out, show their face a bit more. So we left you last night with that sunset, it was quite nice. I have to say so myself. We had another one in the night, a lovely 15-pound mirror. It was quite like a zip, so it reminded me of the old school starburst mirror back in the day. As I say, we've got an hour and a half till we pack up, till we're gone. So I'm going to do the last little bits of magic, see what I can do. We'll be packing up shortly, but I'll update you if anything comes along. As I said before, fishing is just a wonderful thing to do. I mean, for me, if you like a laid-back, relaxed lifestyle, because your life is very busy and mad, and you've got a lot to do, then it's definitely something to take up. If you've got mental health, you need the peace and sanctity, it's good to take up. And as I say, Shadowbrook's a lovely little place. The guy Steve now, he's done a lot of work recently on this place. It's really come up trumps now. And yeah, I've been fishing it for years, and it's a good, nice little place. So Matthew Allen, checking in for Carp Mania. You can't do it from the sofa. You know how it goes. Matthew Allen, checking in for Carp Mania. Can't do it from the sofa.